everyone, Chef Sarah here with the Sylvia Center. We're a nonprofit specializing in providing food and nutrition education in New York City and Columbia County. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do, and that way you can watch more videos like this one. Today we're going to explore pancakes made from corn. So this is week 3 of our Pancake Passport series, and we're going to explore the corn pancakes from Venezuela. So the recipe we're going to make is called Cachapas, and this is a corn cake or corn pancake that we're going to top with black beans, cheese, and a cabbage slaw. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as we talked about last week, sometimes I like to get some of the smaller, easier items out of the way. That way I can focus on the main ingredient or main item. So what I'm going to do first is actually our cabbage slaw. So in this bowl here, I have some cabbage that I sliced up really nice and thin. You can see here, it's pretty small pieces of cabbage. I personally don't like to bite into big pieces of cabbage, so I just slice it up really nice and thin. I also have onions, I have carrots, I have a little jalapeno in there for a little spice. It's not on the recipe, but I actually threw in a little cilantro and green onion as well, because I really like adding extra herbs, and this time of year, they're really in season, so they're really nice and fresh. So I went ahead and grabbed some from my garden and threw those in there as well. So I'm just going to give this a quick mix. And then I'm going to, right on top of this, I'm going to add a mixture of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of sugar. I did heat this up a minute ago, so I'm pouring this over the slaw while that liquid is warm. Okay, so I'll pour that right over top. And then I'm just going to give that just a quick mix to make sure everything is coated. So since it is warm, it's really going to heat this up just a little bit, and we do want to serve this nice and chilled. So I'm going to throw this in the fridge while I'm getting everything else ready. Ooh, it smells so good. Okay, so we'll come back to this towards the end of our class. Okay, so now that our slaw is done, we're going to move on to our cachapas. So these are made from corn. Here I have corn that I cut off of the cob. It's really important whenever you can to use ingredients that are in season. So this corn right now is very fresh and in season, so this is going to be much more flavorful than if we were buying corn in the middle of winter. Anytime you can buy seasonal produce, fruits, veggies, that sort of thing, it is always going to taste better. It's actually going to be more cost efficient because it's not coming from so far. Where if you're having to buy produce that's coming from really far away, it becomes more expensive because it's so much harder to get to that location. So if you're buying things that are local and fresh, it is more cost effective, and it's always going to taste better because it is actually in season. So this corn is right now in season from New Jersey, and that's what we're going to use to make our cachapas. So today I have my food processor right here, and the only ingredients in these are corn, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I also have some masa. So this is corn that's been dried and ground down into a powder. So it's similar to cornmeal or corn flour. It's a little bit different, but it's very similar. So you can see it definitely is nice and light and very fine. So I'm going to add this corn to the food processor, and I'm going to get this to make almost a paste. So all those juices are going to come out of that corn, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. So right now that is just the corn in there. So 30 seconds ago, these were corn kernels, and now you can see it's almost kind of a mush in there. So I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to add in our salt and pepper, and then I'm also going to add that masa. And that's just going to help to kind of bring it together so we can form these into little corn cakes. see how they got a little bit thicker? And I'm going to just add that batter right into the bowl. Okay, so I'm back and my grill pan is getting hot. If you have a grill pan, it works fantastic for making any kind of pancakes. But if not, you could definitely use a saute pan on the stove, works just as well. And this is nice and warm now. I did put a tiny bit of oil on there just to help to get these nice and brown. Not much at all, I just put the tiniest little bit. And I'm actually gonna use a scoop just so I can get these nice and even. I'll put them on there. And I'm just pushing these corn cakes down just so they'll get nice and flat. You can hear that sizzle. That sizzle is a good thing. Okay, so these are going to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. We want these to get nice and golden brown. So I put these on and we're just going to leave them so that one side will get nice and toasty. While these are cooking, I'm going to talk about our black beans. So a few minutes ago in this pan, I had a little bit of oil, onions, and garlic, and I sauteed them. I then added in the black beans, and I've started to just mash these. It's really up to you. If you want them whole black beans, you could use them whole. If you want them super pureed, you could put them in a food processor. But I like them where there's still some nice chunky black beans, but there's part of it that is slightly pureed. So I'm just going through and smashing this with a fork. You could also use a potato masher. It's kind of fun to use as well. And with this, I'm just going to go until it's the consistency I like, which might be different than the consistency that you like. I also added a little bit of salt and pepper, just because we want to make sure we're flavoring everything along the way. Okay, I'm going to do one more little smash there. That looks good to me. I'm just going to set this over here until we're ready for them. Okay, and once again, we are looking for a nice golden brown. So I'm going to check one of these. Sometimes I'll try to flip it a little bit and see. Oh, it's looking beautiful. This is definitely ready. I'm just going to flip. I'm just going to push down a little bit. Okay, so these are beautiful golden brown. I'm going to put these on our plate. You can see how beautiful those look. I'm going to take just a minute and get this grill pan put away. I'm going to clean up for a minute, and then I'll be back with all of our toppings so we can make these as amazing as possible. Okay, so now I have everything to add all of our toppings. So you can see how beautiful these are. I'm going to add some black beans right on top. Okay, I'm also going to add some crumbly cheese. You could use any kind of cheese you want. This is a queso fresco. You could use a mozzarella cheese, really whatever you like. You could skip the cheese completely. Okay, you just get better and better. Okay, now I'm going to just add a little bit of that slaw right on top. It smells so good with the cilantro and the jalapeno. Okay, I'm gonna give my hands a quick rinse. Okay, so our cachapas are completely finished and I'm going to go eat them for lunch right now. So we have the cachapas on the bottom that we added black beans that I cooked with some garlic and onions, and then I smashed them with a fork. There's also a little queso fresco on top and the cabbage slaw, which I added a nice handful of herbs. On the side here I have some limes and jalapenos just to make it extra amazing. I'm going to dip these in some hot sauce as well because, as you know, I like a little extra spicy. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Make sure you join us next week for week 4 of Pancake Passport. Bye, everyone.